This week in Parliament, the Conservatives are going to try to ban phones in school. They're going to try to change the law. Laura Trott, the Shadow Education Secretary, is the person behind that idea. Great to have you with us for the first time in this job. Why are you going to take this move?
We think this is incredibly important. When we were in government, we introduced guidance to schools which said that phones shouldn't be in the classroom. However, that hasn't worked. We know that only 11% of schools have proper smartphone bans in place. We know 1 in 5 children are disrupted every single day because of phones in the classroom. So now it is time to make it law. We're introducing an amendment to the Schools and Wellbeing Bill on Monday, and we hope that Labour will put politics aside and vote for this because it's the right thing to do.
But I remember when Gillian Keegan was the Education Secretary for the Conservatives, and she sat in that chair and said it's basically up to head teachers. We don't need to have a legal ban. And I know also you believe in school freedom. So why don't head teachers have the right to decide what's best?
Well, we also believe very strongly in safeguarding, and this is a safeguarding measure. We've also tried the guidance, and it was right to try the guidance first, but we were always clear that we would legislate if it didn't work. It is clearly not working for the reasons that I've set out, and that is why teachers, parents and pupils across the country are asking for this ban, and that's why I hope that the House will come together on Monday and vote for our amendment.
But are schools asking you to do this?
Yes, head teachers. When I go into schools, head teachers are asking for this. This is something that they need to help them to implement the ban in the face of opposition sometimes from certain parents. And also what we've seen when I go into schools which have these kind of bans, the pupils love it. They talk about how much safer it makes them feel. They talk about how they have the freedom to learn. They're not under any pressure to be on their phones responding to apps. It makes such a difference. And at a time when we are facing lots of challenges in our education system, introducing something which reduces distraction, encourages reading, helps with behaviour, for me is an absolute no-brainer. And that's why I think it was wrong that the Education Secretary called it a gimmick.
Do you think, though, you've got a remote chance of actually making this happen? Because Labour has an enormous majority. There are some Labour MPs who've talked about this, but do you think you've got a chance of making it happen?
I think what I've got to do is to make the argument, as I'm doing with the schools bill more broadly, about how damaging it is. I've got to make the argument. I've got to come on shows like yours and encourage parents, teachers, children up and down the country to petition their MPs to vote for this, because it is incredibly important. It will make a massive difference.